Have you ever wondered what happens to instruments after the surgery, used and discarded? But what if their journey didn't end in landfills or incinerators? HASA OPTIX is forging a new, more environmentally friendly path. To learn more, we traveled to Utrecht, the Netherlands, to witness this transformation firsthand. Here's what we discovered.
This is the area where the contaminated goods are received. These are specially made boxes for transportation of contaminated goods. And these goods are opened by skilled personnel to bring them to these washing machines. And in these washing machines, they are decontaminated. So after we have decontaminated it, it's brought to the melting company, and they bring us these sheets. And after these sheets are brought over here, they are brought into production and perforated. When you look at this, these are stainless steel baskets, partly made out of the stainless steel which we collected from HASA OPTIX. Well, if you look at this small instrument, which is single use, it has now been, after use, it's brought back to new materials. This is something we do together with HASA OPTIX, and we're really proud of the collaboration we have with them to lower CO2 emissions in healthcare.
GreenCycl is the only European company accredited to decontaminate medical devices. This eliminates any workload by the hospitals to clean the instruments.
When we perform surgeries, we collect them in a separate bin during the surgery. And after a whole day of surgeries, we get the bin and put it in a larger container. And when the larger containers are full, we collect them, and then we call our industry partner to make sure they come and get them and go to GreenCycl to recycle the product. Well, before we all use reusable instruments, we still do, but now we are using also disposable instruments because of the ophthalmology. Instruments were very fragile and also they break. And we know we have good instruments that we can deliver to our patients. And after that, we are going to recycle them, so we know that we're doing something for the environment, and also know that we can use the products once again, because we are in the recycle circle.
Completing the circle requires not just recycling, but maintaining the highest standards for medical reuse.
The most important and maybe fundamental aspect is to maintain the quality we want to have to use it again for medical devices. That means that quality is of utmost importance. So we need to have steel which has a strong strength, good material behavior, non-toxic, and then it can be processed, documented into new medical devices. The good thing about the instruments from HASA OPTIX is that the basic quality of the instruments itself is already on the highest level. So the outcome after recycling only increases and maintains that and secures that high quality level. So what we put in, we get out. And we see hardly any quality loss when we reprocess it.
From discarded tools to reborn materials, this collaboration between HASA OPTIX, hospitals, and GreenCycl keeps high-quality instruments in circulation. But how does it fit into the OR?
In all instruments, the pain point is really the quality. You know, is the instrument doing exactly what I want it to do and how I want it to work? So my first impression of a HASA instrument was like a eureka moment. It was the capsular X's forceps. It was incredibly well balanced. It was precise. It was fine, and I really found it performed better than any disposable instrument I'd used previously, and as good, if not better, than most reusable instruments. And every single one you get is fresh out of the packet, guaranteed to work perfectly. Well, I think one of the concerns with a really high quality metallic instrument is that you throw it away, it needs to be burned or incinerated, and that's costing more money and it's contributing to emissions. So the idea that you could recycle those instruments or other people could use them is very, very appealing.
I work at several practices, and I found that actually setting up recycling at each place was slightly different. The key thing that I would tell any surgeon that wants to take on is that I needed to develop a quality improvement project where I have to create primary drivers, secondary drivers, and then show that I've thought about all the risks that could be considered within that journey, and then how we mitigated it. And the most important thing is to get your team on board, the wider team. And once everyone's on board, then it becomes a lot easier.
You have some hurdles to overcome because you need to do some logistic changes, but also train the staff to know what they need to do to recycle those instruments and which ones. So when there's a project in the hospital, they embrace it, they are motivated, and I think that's the most important to do this recycling program, because you do it together and as a team, as a staff. So that's very nice to see.
Implementing a recycling program requires logistical changes and teamwork, but the real impact comes from understanding the process firsthand.
And now I understand that it's high-grade stainless steel, which is very important because you don't really want microplastics mixed in within your instruments, because you know then they can't really be recycled either. It's important to see the recycling part of it. And that's the journey that really hit the nail on the head for me, because I saw in real life where the instruments go, how they're collected in recyclable yellow bins. There's actually two streams of recycling there, the bin itself and the actual instruments. Now I'm seeing the whole process myself. It's not just hearsay, it's not just, somebody telling me what to think or do. I'm watching it myself. I approve of this process and therefore I support it.
So the surgical instruments we see are made out of stainless steel, and iron ore is mined from mines in Australia, Brazil or China. And then it has to be reprocessed into a usable raw material. And that takes so much energy that recycling is always the better solution. For every kilogram of medical plastics we recycle, we save 3 kilograms of CO2 emissions. For every kilogram of metal-based medical devices we recycle, we save 2 kilograms of CO2 emissions.
Well, actually we started a pilot program with 2 hospitals, and in 1 year we processed 600 kilograms of HASA OPTIX steel. We are growing, and we are at the moment starting up new hospitals and larger eye clinics to process more stainless steel from HASA OPTIX. So the 600 kilograms we've collected till now in the last year will be multiple times in a couple of years.
The initiative by HASA OPTIX represents a significant step towards sustainable healthcare. Pioneers like Dr. Rampat and Shanna are already part of this initiative, while others, such as Dr. Barsam, are in the process of joining. GreenCycl's recycling facility plays a pivotal role by transforming discarded instruments into valuable resources. Together, these efforts are making ophthalmology more environmentally friendly, one instrument at a time.